questions like you want to ask about what you're working on right now. Like in the process that you've got in front of you with this, any questions or clarifications? I won't answer them all, but I might hit something or give you a little guidance if you have a question. Anything in that batch you want to ask about?
Any particular amount of detail, like on number 2, with the sketch that you want to put in?
Yeah, well, you don't have to do a sketch, but I'll explain why I gave that one. So, in reality, it's all about being able to find information, right? So, in this particular question, it says, hey, you know, out there, companies have all kinds of available charts and data they want you to have access to. First of all, why does a company want you to have access to their data so easily and effectively? So you buy their stuff. McMaster-Carr produces those great manuals that have all the stuff that you want. They make their website easy to navigate, because if it's easy for you to navigate, easy for you to get to, you're more likely to buy their stuff. Same thing is true like when we do building materials. For example, metal building purlins and those kind of things. All that data is readily available because they want me to pick out their stuff to put on plans. So with that in mind, manufacturing data is pretty easy. So what I want you to do with this, I'm not really concerned with how well detailed or anything. I just want you to be able to say, all right, you know what? I'm looking for, let's say, metric threads. Metric thread chart. And I go quickly see that, and that's kind of good, but I bet we can find something better. Look there, there's a great one. Bam, there's a file. Well, they didn't show me the image. Let's try that again. And it's going to show up that way. Sometimes the websites don't do what you think they're going to do. So how about this one? View image. There we go. So there's a great image. This is this is actually something specific to what they're actually doing with theirs. It does have the size of the metric stone.
With M8 by 1.5.
Well, let's see if I get this one to work. This is essentially what I'm wanting right here. It does show the metric thread sizes and pitches, and it gives you a little bit of information. What's the diameter and this kind of thing. So what I'm wanting is you just be able to go find one of these charts that gives information and insert it, just to show that you have the ability to go look stuff up and put it in. So I'm not going to be, and it calls out things like useful data like size, pitch, major diameter, and this one has it. This one that I found, you know, it took a couple clicks, but I found it. We got the size, we got the diameter, got it in metric and in English, or our standard. We got our thread pitch, that kind of thing. It even tells us what tap size we should need to do. So this would be a fine example of what I would copy and then pop right in. This question is just about getting resources quickly and efficiently and slapping it in there. So I'm not going to be too picky. I just want to see that you have the ability to do this.
Number 5 had 30 at the end. Would that be 30 millimeters or 30?
Well, if you read that question again.
So what is the length of the bolt in inches? So it's metric, but 30 centimeters probably. That'd be what?
That's the question. You have to actually do the conversion. So one question like that is to make sure the person is taking the time to read the question carefully. Mainly because you have to be able to know how to quickly or effectively convert from metric to standard measurements for us all the time. It just happens. All right. So, well, ask yourself this question. If they call out that a bolt is, let's say, an M3 by, by 1.25 by 30. Here's how you can logic this out. So we're talking about this value right here. Is it millimeters or is it in centimeters? Now, the answer is these measurements are always in a certain specific unit, but let's reason it though. How big is a centimeter? How many centimeters are in an inch? About 2.5. So basically 2.5 centimeters are equal to 1 inch, about, right? So, with that knowledge, if I take 30 and divide it by 2.5, what's that real quick?
12.
About 12, right? Now, do you think this bolt is 12 inches long? keeping in mind how big an M3 is. An M3 is about how big?
Very little.
Very tiny. So do we have a bolt that is about this big in diameter and then 12 inches long? Not likely, right? Yeah, because first of all, you have all kinds of problems when you have thin, long things, connectors. They just don't work out well. So logically, you reason this out and you think, all right, so because you're going to run into this kind of thing all the time, which system or which value is it? Sometimes you just have to stop and think about it. What does that really mean? Like I said, we run into this all the time in structural design where we'll get numbers and we'll think it's one unit system until we stop and take a moment to think about it. But basically, your bolt systems and thread systems are all in millimeters. They don't give you centimeter values for bolt systems. Everything's in millimeters. And the clue is whenever you see the M, whatever value it is, it's going to be a millimeter value. Yeah, because we just don't produce, centimeters is just too large to start throwing numbers like this out there. That's a good question, though, or it actually brings up a good point in terms of all the different unit systems and actually how they all work. Anything else? All right, that's a good stopping point.